Jhoulys has been, as much as we could ever hope for it when we signed him this winter. He was a player that really, I know some members of our front office have liked for a long time and followed closely for a long time. So it was I think it was a player that they had targeted, and we had targeted for a while, and so we were, always excited to get him. And what he's really been is he's just been a very stabilizing presence for us. He's taken the ball every fifth day, so to speak, and delivered good results. And during the course of 162 games, you need that. You need guys that are going to take the ball every fifth day. You need that consistency, that durability. And then on top of that, as the season's gone on, he's just pitched wonderfully, and especially in some really big games, he's pitched wonderfully. So he's been just an anchor, I would call him, to our pitching staff, and somebody very important.
Other questions? Tom?
Craig, taken for granted nobody can stay as hot as Christian Yelich was. Really, the whole second half was particularly down then. You see anything different from him? Are they pitching any different? I mean, I know it's 2 games too, so I understand asking that.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, I think they've pitched him well. But nothing. I'm not seeing anything different. You're seeing kind of the same attack plan. I mean, if anything, what you've seen is I've seen just more foul balls. So I think the couple pitches he may have got to hit, he's fouled them off. And you don't look in games like this against pitchers like this, you don't expect to get a ton of pitches to hit. So sometimes the foul ball is the pitch you had to hit, and then it's kind of you get into battle mode a little bit. And so, if I would surmise a 7 at bat, 8 at bat stretch, I mean that's how I would. But I'm confident we're going to see a big hit from Christian here in the next couple days.
Craig, can you at this particular point in time say anything about your Game 4 pitching plan?
No, we will. Look, we're going to go through Game 3, and I don't know until after Game 3.
Other question?
I was just going to say, could it be a bullpen situation or like an initial out-getter kind of situation?
I mean, you can describe it any way you'd like. Yeah, I mean, we'll put together some way to get 27 outs. I mean, I don't mean to be coy about it. It's just, that's how we're looking at it. And, there's several candidates for it, but we're going to use all our resources in Game 3 and then move on to Game 4.
And Joe?
Yeah, I kind of wanted to touch on Game 3 and how much you might want or need from Chacin, given that you have 3 days. 3 games in 3 consecutive days. Are you going to look for at least as much length out of him as you got from Miley, or is it going to be a shorter stint?
No, I mean, I don't think any of us go into these playoff games knowing, you don't know what's going to happen. So you have to read the game as it's going on, and we'll do the same thing. I mean, Jhoulys is capable of going deep into the game, and that's ideal. But I think you also have to watch the game and see what's going on, and we'll be fresh tomorrow and ready to go. So that's good. I don't think, at this point that I mean you think about tomorrow's game is important, but I think it's you're also willing to, if you've got wins kind of under your belt, you're going to go for it, yeah, or close to it, you're going to go for it.
And in the back, Gabe.
With that in mind, how might you approach Hader a little differently just with 3 days in a row with no off day? Would 3 innings be kind of an unlikely thing, or how might you manage him going forward here?
Yeah, again, I couldn't tell you I have a set plan on it, but we know we have 3 games in a row, and we know we got to have pitching for 3 days. I'm not concerned about having guys that can get outs for 3 days. Like I said, so if you got a win within reach, you try to capture it.
Other questions?
Craig, does it become problematic at all to use Freddie? Because I can't remember the last time he pitched, or is he just getting the work that he needs to be ready to throw for you?
No, Freddie's. I expect Freddie to be involved in the next 3 days. It's really a function of how well that we've pitched, how well, starts like Jhoulys has had, that, outings like Brandon Woodruff has had, that Wade's starts. That's the reason why Freddie has not pitched. We've got, yesterday, was the first time we were trailing in a game since the regular season ended, the last 2 innings of the game. So we've just been in a good spot with our pitching. We haven't let up many runs, and we've been in a good spot, and it's just where Freddie's at. Freddie's ready to go. And I expect when he gets out there one of these next 3 days, we're gonna see a really good version of him.
Other questions? Joe?
Before you were saying that if there's a win, then you have to go grab that win. But how much do you have to balance maybe who you have for Game 4 or Game 5 going forward, or is that the philosophy? Just win today and then.
Yeah, I mean, I think we believe we have guys that, that's the reason why you have multiple guys with kind of length associated with them in the bullpen, or on our active roster, I should say, and so. We think we have a way to map out the game, no matter what we have to do the night before. And, we're not going to get through, unless there's a crazy extra inning game or a really long game. I can't envision us having a good game plan that we haven't kind of talked about, ready to put forth the next day.
Other questions? Nothing else?
After we talked to you in the interview room and then we get in the clubhouse, JJ was very frustrated, as any pitcher would be that just had a tough game. And it sounded like he might have said some things he regretted about lucky hits because of the soft contact stuff, but then people wanted to lump that home run into it, which obviously wasn't lucky. So he kind of walked it back today, it looked like on social media. Because JJ's kind of an emotional guy, is the roller coaster thing tougher in the postseason, Craig? Or do you sense that he's like frustrated because he has not had the greatest luck overall in the postseason?
Yeah, I mean, the baseball luck and pitchers it's part of your life. There's times when you have to you have to realize it's working for you. You don't want to acknowledge it when the line drive gets hit at somebody, but when there's times when the slow roller, as Chris Taylor's ball that's a frustrating. You make a good pitch, a guy hits it 40 feet, it's frustrating. And then when the next guy hits a homer, it's really frustrating. So that's, I think he's frustrated by that, and understandably so. The pop-up, Peterson hit a pop-up that just falls between the hitters, falls between fielders. So, a couple frustrating balls. I do think, look, the postseason's more emotional. There's no getting around that, and nobody's going to hide from that, and nobody's going to say it's not, because it is. I think in most time, for a guy like JJ, I think it works. I think it works for him. He hasn't had the results so far, but he's going to get the ball again. We're going to need him to get outs. I'll tell you that we don't, for this to work, we need to count on our guys, and we're going to continue to.
A couple last ones for Craig? Nothing else?
Could I just follow? And I assume that means Corbin Burns too, right? I mean, he's been fantastic.
Yeah.
One rough outing.
And I think it's that's exactly right. It's we can't bail on after one rough outing or 2 rough outings. It's we need these guys. They've performed at really high levels for us for a long stretch of time, and I think we have to be. That's the balance of the playoffs, right? Of taking the last result and changing your decision making based on the last result because it feels different, and we got to treat it the same. and we got to trust our players who got us to this point, and we'll continue to do that.
And that's not hard for you at all, is it, Craig?
No, I think it's because it's why we're here. Yeah, it's why we're here.
I'll finish up right here.
You mentioned the playoffs being an emotional time. How does Chacin's presence in the clubhouse help to kind of mitigate or channel some of that emotion?
Yeah, Jhoulys is a pretty. He's got two sides to him. He's a very mellow, fun-loving, happy guy. Really, up until the second he kind of steps over the white line, and then he's a great competitor. Which it's been fun to learn. You know, you hear things about players kind of before you get them, and it's been fun to watch. It's a thrill to watch competitors for me. And Jhoulys is a real competitor. He really is, and it's he's out on the mound thinking of ways to beat you. And sometimes it's a creative, and we've seen it all year. He's got a number of different tricks in his bag, so to speak, that he goes to and to get outs. And I enjoy that. It's gamesmanship, it's competitiveness, it's creativity on the mound, and that's a cool way to watch baseball. It's a cool way to pitch. It really is.
We'll take one last one from our.
Craig, because things are so serious in postseason, sometimes we forget about the really light moments. Did you see what Aggie did yesterday?
Yeah.
And what was the reaction to that?
We
people who didn't see it.
Well, our reaction on the mound was I was not looking at Corbin Burns coming into the game. All 5 of us or 6 of us on the mound were saying, "Look at Aggie, man." I mean, isn't that just like Aggie? You know, we were laughing at Aggie. We were all watching him. And I think Corbin got to the mound, and I had to turn around and hand him the ball. Because we were watching Aggie ham it up as he's really good at doing.
Greg, thank you.